Today we're back building a nation with perfect players, and on today's menu is fullbacks, and we're heading to Iceland, where each team in the division has 2 perfect players who are designated fullbacks, as I've already mentioned. Can they help build a nation? Can we propel them to the dizzy heights of European glory? And can Iceland maybe go and win a World Cup? Let's go find out. Yeah, we're doing the Scandinavian tour with this variation of video. We've done Norway, Sweden and Denmark, I believe, with wingers, strikers and... was it centre-backs for Norway? Yeah, centre-backs. We've earmarked central midfielders for Austria because we wanted Big Ralph to do it. And yeah, maybe we might do a little variation of 3 different players, 3 different positions, maybe for like San Marino or something. Because we all love a San Marino experiment, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? But today, it's all about Iceland and it's all about fullbacks. As you can see here, I've put them as fullbacks and wingbacks because some of the teams might play wingbacks, and I've locked them in 20 out of 20. And of course, they've got max hidden attributes, which means their versatility is going to be up there as well. So they could be retrained into a more prominent forward-facing position, which in my opinion would benefit the teams greatly. You'd probably be better off with them as wingers rather than fullbacks. But I digress. So, Icelandic Premier Division is currently 48th in the world. The Icelandic national team is currently 66th in the world. Both of those 2 reputations will, of course, move on up. I would expect Iceland to certainly enter the conversation for the Euros and the World Cup. We don't know whether they will, but I think they're going to get to the latter stages of certain tournaments, given the fact that they are a somewhat decent team in themselves anyway. The league as well, as you can see here, I've got notes on them all as well, so when we go and look at Conference Leagues, Europa Leagues, Champions Leagues, it's very easy to sort of visually see if anyone's won it, because of course, I'm not going to remember half of these team names. Most of them are just abbreviations anyway. So yeah, that's that. We've had varying success throughout these experiments with the different positions, and I think fullbacks are probably going to be the positions that's going to impact the league the least. So I'm not expecting the worlds to get moved in this experiment, but... you know, it's been a while since I've actually done one of these as well. It's been ages since I recorded the last one. That was well before the birth of my daughter. And I'm actually now back recording. Jesus, just over 3 weeks old. And today is a day where I should have been at work. You saw my update video. I no longer work. Oh. This is my, we'll say, full-time gig. Being a dad is my full-time gig for the next year. But yeah, this is going to be, yeah, just making YouTube content is like my hobby that I'm going to be really looking down on and bringing in some of these new and bigger and fresher ideas that take a lot longer to produce. Anyway, I digress. If you want to see an update, go and watch the 20-minute waffle I did the other day. So, here we go. Iceland. We're going to see the international team and the league reputation both go up in terms of their ranking. How long are the players here for, I hear you ask? Well, it's the same as the other Scandinavian videos. They're going to be here for 30 years. So in 30 years, they're all going to Al Nassr for a transfer fee of £250 million per player. Although I have noticed that these future transfers that I set in the pre-game editor, the money doesn't seem to come into the teams, so they're probably not going to get it. But it is what it is. So yeah, that's that. Let's rock and roll. Let's go 1 year into the future and see if anyone's been retrained in terms of position. See who goes on and wins the league. Because as you can see here, Breidablik, Vikingur, Valor, KR, those are the teams that have won it. The media prediction is Vikingur and Valor. But it could be anyone. It could be anyone. So let's go and have a look at the shortlist. And as you can see here, we're a season in, 6th of Feb 2024. The players are 17. As you can see, lots of appearances for them. As you can also probably infer, Breidablik. I've had this before where I've failed to say this and I got told I pronounced it. What the hell is that? I Protofelagio Vilkir. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Hand Kernatlik Flag Opperbogs. Again, just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? So as you can see, Breidablik have 45 and 46 games respectively, which is probably because they were in some sort of European competition. Now, we are hoping that we're going to see some European victories. Certainly Conference League, maybe Europa League. You know, dizzy heights of the Champions League probably will elude us in just a short 30 years with fullbacks. But we can but dream. So, no one's been retrained in terms of position. So it looks like everyone's played as fullbacks. Who won the league then? It was Vikingur. It was Vikingur who won the league, and they are still predicted to win the league. They are in the Champions League. You've got Europa League football for Valor, Fylkir, and KA. or should I say, is that a silent K? We'll go with it. Sperniflag Akuriya. I mean, I've made a rod for my own back here, haven't I? Choosing the Icelandic Premier Division. You know, just a small modicum of research, I could have looked at some of these names and thought, I'm not going to be able to say all these. Let's pick an easier. Let's do the Championship. You know, got no problem saying Coventry or Watford. The league is still 48th, but there's not going to be any sort of. We've not even had a European win. No, I haven't had finished a European trophy at the moment, so nothing's going to happen in terms of competition reputation. We're down in 77th for the Icelandic national team. Ralph Rangnick's in charge, and it doesn't seem anyone's got an international appearance yet. Yeah, caps. No caps for anyone yet, but maybe because they're only 17, do they need to be 18 to play for the international team? They're not in the under-21s, not in the under-19s, not in the under-18s. I should have called them all fullbackson, shouldn't I? Fullbackson instead of just FB 1 and 2. That's a joke. Opportunity missed. On we move. So yeah, as I said, Breidablik are, it looks like, still in some sort of European competition. There you go. They've just lost in the Conference League Group B. Oh, the bottom. Okay, they're out. They're out. Fine. Well, we'll hopefully see some more things happen going forward. Now we are going to jump a little bit further than just the 1 year. Now we're going to go forward 4 years. It'll be 5 years into the future. And because we've got 30 years, we're probably going to do 6 5-year jumps or 5 5-year jumps. And then, of course, once they all leave and the money comes in, we always simulate on and just see what happens going forward from there. So, yeah, let's go to 2028. 4 more years. 5 years into the future. Okay. So, no retraining of positions once again. So, we are still looking at fullbacks. In terms of caps, though, KR fullback 1 has 20 caps. Keflavik fullback 1 has 15. Vikinger fullback 1 has 14. So they're very much in and amongst it. The Icelandic Premier Division is up in 40th, and we have not had back-to-back winners. Vikinger, KA, KR, Vikinger, KR. So we've had 3 winners in 5 years. 2 teams twice. Fair play. Up in 40th as well. The national team up in 20th. Wow. Okay. So, didn't qualify for the Euros. Oh, we got to the qualification playoff semi and lost to Poland on penalties. And the European International League, yeah, World Cup qualification, may have qualified here. We may have qualified. Did we get there? We did. We've only got to fucking won the World Cup in 2026. The first time of asking. Losing to Canada in the opening group game, 2-1. Beating Egypt, then it wasn't the hardest run to the World Cup final, was it? Colombia, South Korea, Mali, Senegal, Ecuador after extra time 3-0, and then the World Cup final against Nigeria. 2 fullbacks with the goals. They are coming up with the goals here, but we're beating Nigeria 2-1. So the group stage, we're not interested in the group stage. If we look at the tree, okay, so we're here, we beat South Korea, then we beat Mali, who would beat Iran, then we beat Senegal, who actually beat Uruguay and Portugal, so there's an upset, beating Portugal. We beat Ecuador, who actually beat Brazil. Ecuador also knocks out England, so Ecuador 6-0 against Egypt, then they beat England on penalties and then snuck past Brazil. Then, of course, we beat Nigeria. Who did Nigeria beat? Nigeria beat France after extra time. They've also beat Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast knocked out Italy. Nigeria beat the Netherlands. So, yeah, a lot of teams have been beaten. The upset's been caused by a lot of these teams, and then when they've come to face little old Iceland, they've come unstuck, and we've gone and won the World Cup at the first time of asking. I did not expect that. There we go. 1 trophy already ticked off the list, and then we've qualified for the Euros. Absolutely, beating Germany twice, and that Euros is going to be coming up in the near future. Okay, so the Europa Conference League. Then, have we won anything in the Conference League? I've spelt that wrong. Europa Conference League, previous winners, and Eintracht Frankfurt, Club Brugge, Napoli, and Rennes. Rennes beating Chelsea. So if there's no Conference League wins, there's going to be no Europa League wins. Liverpool, Atletico, AC, Villarreal. Of course, no Champions League wins. Inter Milan, Man City twice, and Real Madrid. Winning an El Clasico final. Antonio Conte's Barcelona. Fair play. Okay, so not a lot happening in Europe. Where are we at here? Okay, so we're in the Champions League. No one's in the Champions League at the moment. Europa League, also no one's in it. Fram are in the Conference League. Okay, so not really representing too strongly in Europe at the moment. That hopefully will change, because as the league reputation does start to increase, I'd like to think that they can start to attract a higher caliber of player. And the fullbacks, the fact that they've managed to carry Iceland to a World Cup win, albeit an easier run, some of these teams should start to qualify for the Champions League and the Europa League and get prize money, and then more money will roll in, and it's just a bit of a snowball effect. So only 5 years in to already have the World Cup under our belt is insane. I'd be surprised if we won another World Cup, to be honest. Can we go and win the Euros? Let's go forward another 5 years, 2033. Okay, so, this guy has been retrained as a centre-back. Interesting. I think he's going to be playing for Iceland a lot more. And we've also got another centre-back over here, HK. And then the only two position changes in terms of international caps. We've still got some players uncapped. They've got the faves, haven't they? They've got the favourites. I think this guy, I'm surprised this guy's not had more caps, but now he's in and amongst it as a centre-back. Maybe he's going to be getting capped as a centre-back. Let's have a look. International centre-back, yeah. So he's been playing as a centre-back internationally. So that's what's got him in the team. The Icelandic Premier Division is up in 24th, and it's Vikingur who have been dominating. They've won the last 5 tournaments. Iceland are down in 26th, so we've actually dropped from last time as World Cup champions. I would say that we've probably not won the World Cup or the Euros in that interim. And no, we crashed out. We lost to Kosovo, Albania, and England in the group. Having won the World Cup, I'd expect us to beat Kosovo and Albania. No disrespect to them. That's disappointing. And then we've probably done enough to qualify for the Euros there. Beating England, beating Brazil in a friendly. But that's a bit more like it, isn't it? Beating South Korea, Nigeria, and Colombia in the group stage. Fair play. World Cup final repeat. A 6-0 win. And then we lost to Cameroon in the second round. 2032, we got to the Euros almost certainly, and then we went out having drawn all 3 games to France, Serbia, and Israel. It's a 4-2-3-1 that is being deployed by Iceland, and as I say, 4 of our players are here in the back line. I would expect us to concede less than we actually are. A lot of 1-0s. But we don't get battered like 4-5s very much, do we? 2 against Slovenia there, 2 against Kosovo. Every other game's only conceded 1. But the World Cup qualification group as well. We've got Moldova, Switzerland, Andorra, Finland, and Slovenia. Okay. And yeah, that's a little bit more like it. I didn't think we'd do that well. It's the fact we won the World Cup so early. I'm still blown away by it. Absolutely blown away. However, what is impressive is now we're now in 24th with the Icelandic Premier Division. So the league reputation has exceeded the international team ranking, which is a big jump considering how high we went internationally in the first instance. Vikingur are the team. Got the fullbacks and everything, but who else have they got? They've got this guy called Alexander Hammer Kjelsen. He's wanted, 27-year-old. He's a 133 current ability player. Lots of players in the 120s. Is that sort of good for the league? I should have really checked in on a couple of these teams to begin with, just to see how they might have grown and progressed. £17 million in the bank, £15 million available to spend. No European trophies up here, but they've won the league. They're probably going into the Champions League. We're a long way off winning that. It's going to be the Conference League that might be the one that we win first of all. So let's have a look at the Champions League, shall we? The previous winners, the past winners are here. Yeah, City, PSG, and Real Madrid. Real Madrid runner-up 3 times in a row as well. Nowhere near in the Europa League and nowhere near in the Conference League. Okay, so stages. Let's look at the tree. So no one was even in it. No one was even in it. Europa League phase, no one was in it. Champions League. Vikingur, 31st. No wins. They drew 4. They drew against Real Madrid. Real Madrid, Slavia Prague, Galatasaray, and PAOK. They lost to AC, Barca, Juve, and Anderlecht. So we're not really showing much in Europe at the moment. Disappointing. Hopefully things will change. We've still got 20 years to go. Let's go to 2038 and be halfway through. So now at 31 years old. Of course, all the players have their attributes frozen. I didn't neglect to mention that to begin with, but of course, going to play on in their mid-40s, they're not going to be able to unless we freeze their attributes. So we've got them frozen, so they will be able to continue to play at the top level for the full 30 years. Vikingur fullback 1 has got 105 caps. We've got more caps here for these two as well, the centre-backs. So I think those are the back 4. Everyone else is sort of filling in and being bit part players. We've got some players that haven't played at all for Iceland. What's interesting is because they've never had an international career, when these players up here retire from international football, which is kind of hard coded in the game to be at some point in their 30s, regardless of whether they can play on longer, they will retire from international football at some point. Now, because these guys have never had an international career, if these guys get called up, they will play on to their mid-40s. Kind of a bit of a glitch in the game. But I suppose the game wasn't really intended to be played the way I'm sort of playing it, with recent attributes and having players go on to their mid-40s. So, 15th, the Icelandic Premier Division, and Vikingur have lost their grip on the league. They've won twice in the last 5 years, but Valor have come through with a couple, and so have Fram. They've got one. 15th in the world. The league is 15th, and the Icelandic national team is 11th, and Luis Enrique is in charge. Plenty of them in the squad. They're playing 4-2-3-1, as mentioned previously. We went out to the Euros, didn't we, in 2032. In 2033, we qualified for the World Cup with a perfect record, only conceding 3 goals along the way. And we got to the quarter-final, losing to Brazil, a much more difficult run this time, beating Spain and France on the way, and beating Nigeria once again. Beating Nigeria in every World Cup so far. Yeah, losing to Brazil 2-1 in the quarterfinals. Consolation, we were 2-0 down. Our fullbacks coming up clutch, 3-0 against Spain. There you go. Out in the quarterfinal, qualified for the Euros comfortably. And we won the Euros, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Beating Denmark, Belgium, Israel in the groups. Going through, beating Georgia in the second round. Then beating Ukraine 4-2. An absolute all-timer against England. A 4-3 European Championship semi-final. It was 1-0, thanks to Vikingur fullback 1. Then Mark Gerhi equalised 1-1. It was then 2-1. I can't be bothered. 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. Game over. No, England had other ideas. 85 and 92nd minute. They pulled goals back and nearly forced extra time. France in the final, and it was a 2-0 win against France. Unbelievable stuff. Winning every single game, conceding just 5 goals in the tournament. 5 clean sheets as well. That's a World Cup and a Euros. And we qualify for the following World Cup in 2038. And it hasn't happened yet. So there you go. We've won 2 international tournaments. And in terms of the Premier Division, being 15th in the world, very impressive. Now, let's go and have a look at Conference Leagues. The Conference League is currently in progress here on the 2nd of Feb. And Stjarnan are 14th, and they've got a playoff place. They've got themselves a playoff place. Fair play to them. No one's got to the final, unfortunately. Nowhere in the Europa League either. But Vikingur, Fram and Valor have all got playoff places, and they're going to go through to the knockout rounds. The Champions League, no one got to the league phase of the Champions League. And of course, no one's won it. It is what it is. Okay, so things are happening. We're really starting to make moves now. We're representing the Europa League. 3 teams going through to the knockout phase of the Europa League, which is brilliant, considering 5 years ago, we didn't even see someone in the league phase. So, yeah, and a Euros win. Internationally, we are flying. Domestically, we are, I don't know, not flying. Tortoising along, if you will. 2043, big things could be happening. Okay, so once again, we're here. It's now 2043, and we've got quite a lot of positional changes. Loads have been retrained as a centre-back all of a sudden. We've even got a defensive midfield for Stjarnan over here. I'd say it's more common to have been retrained as a centre-back than anywhere else. Did I say central midfield before? I meant centre-back. You know I meant centre-back. If I did say centre-back, sleep deprivation. That's what I'm putting it down to. He might not look it, and you might be thinking, God, he's off his game today. He's all over the place. Doesn't know what he's doing. I have had about 2.5 hours sleep last night. The missus has had about the same. She stayed up late while I went to bed, but we're just having a bit of chaos. Nocturnal children, ladies and gentlemen. That's the killer. Nocturnal children. So if I'm a bit all over the place and I'm getting things wrong, call me out in the comments down below. Feed the algorithm, interaction and all that. But I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just sleep deprived, an idiot, and tired. I've lost where I was. Loads of centre-backs. Loads of retrained centre-backs. And we've got loads of 4 players over 100 caps. Now, at 36, I wonder if this guy's retired from international football. He hasn't. I wonder if this guy has. No, I'm not sure. I think we're still plodding along, really. Okay, So, the Premier Division up in 8th. We've broken the top 10. And Vikingo are back. 5 more wins. 5 wins in a row for Vikingo. Internationally, oh my God. We are second. We are second. Roberto De Zerbi. 5 players. Hang on. Why is he up front? I've got no problem with that. They've got so many players on the bench as well. They just bring them on. Different positions. Second, we've got to have won a tournament. Surely. We were last here in 37. We just won the Euros in 36. There you go. And in 38, oh, we lost in the final to Italy. 1-0. A 56-minute goal for Giacomo Cobianchi, the Inter Milan striker. We beat Spain in the semi-final. England on penalties in the quarters. 3-0 against Poland in the round of 16. Extra time was needed to beat Uruguay. And we beat Ghana, Qatar and Croatia quite comfortably in the group stage. Then a loss to Bosnia and Herzegovina in a qualification campaign where we conceded 3 goals, 2 of them in a 2-0 defeat to Bosnia and Herzegovina. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, we qualified for the Euros and we've gone and retained our trophy. We've drawn against Croatia, drawn against the Netherlands, almost certainly needed to beat Austria in the final group game of the Euros, and we did. We won 2-0. We then beat Romania. We then beat England after extra time. Another late goal. And then Max Shaw again in the 92nd minute. This time it wasn't 90 plus 2. It was just extra time. But we scored in the 105th minute and the 117th minute. Once again, it's the fullbacks coming up clutch. Then we beat Denmark 2-1 in the semi-final. Again after extra time. And it wasn't extra time that did us proud in the final. It was penalties that was needed. And it's revenge against Italy for beating us in the World Cup not 2 years ago. We've then gone to the World Cup the following year and we've got knocked out in the round of 16 to Belgium. Very anticlimactic there, but we're about to qualify for the Euros this time. Yeah, we've got a reasonable qualification. Kazakhstan, Gibraltar, Poland, Switzerland. We should get through that. But second in the world, so 2 Euros and a World Cup so far. And we're up in 8th. Okay, Europa Conference League. Stjarnan are still there, representing, qualifying. Past winners. No one's been a past winner, nor have they been a runner-up. Same in the Europa League. Valor, IBV have qualified for the playoffs. Fram were eliminated. And the Champions League, Vikingo are going into the knockout stage. But unfortunately, that's about it. And of course, they've not won it, and they've not come runner-up either. In terms of the senior squad then, I mean, most of them are our Wonder Kids fullbacks. And you've got a few players here that have just been sort of called up, but that entire squad is the fullbacks. No wonder they've going on to dizzy heights and doing really well. We've got 10 years left. Let's go to 2048. See if we can get a European trophy domestically. Right, we're in the 40s now. Surely we've retired from international football. Yes, in 2046 at 39, 198 caps. And as you can see there, well, you might have seen, I'll go down and show you, but there we've got over 100 caps for all these players. Lots of centre-backs. Almost everyone's been retrained as a centre-back. A few defensive midfielders. And even this guy has got 1 international cap. Made his debut in 2043. Oh, 5 years ago. Premier Division is still in 8th, stagnant. Vikingo won the last 5. So they've won 10 in a row now. Internationally, we are ranked 1st. Oh, wow. We were eliminated from the World Cup in the round of 16 to Belgium. Surely we qualified for the Euros. We did, and then we lost to Ukraine in the second round on penalties. I think a lot of the players will have retired actually now from international football, so they might not do very well. However, it did take us the qualification playoffs to get to the actual tournament. 2-time winners. Got to the World Cup. Oh, we've won another World Cup. All that about all the players retiring, all that waffle, bollocks, because we've won a World Cup. Seen just 3 goals on the way. We beat Congo. We beat the Democratic Republic of Congo 2-0. Beat China 6-0. Jamaica 4-1 to go out Group I winners. In the second round, we dispatched of Sweden 5-0. We showed Italy how to do it inside 90 minutes, not needing extra time or penalties this time. 4-1. Then we beat Belgium 3-0. Spain 3-1. And then the final 3-1 against Argentina. That's the second World Cup. That's 2 World Cups and 2 Euros. And we are pretty much certainly going to be qualified for the Euros. In second place behind Sweden. World Cup winners. First place senior squad. Not many of them in the squad. Don't think we're going to do very well then. As I say, the Premier Division is in 8th. Viking have been dominating. So quick check in on the Conference League. And no one's won it. And no one's even in it. Valor and Breidablik are in the Europa League. No one's won it. And of course, the Champions League, I'm not expecting anything. Viking have actually just been eliminated, not even qualified for the playoff knockout round, but KR have qualified. There you go. So the final jump at 2053, before we do simulate on and see how the world progressed after all the players left. Is there any final little swan song for our players? Or is it just going to be much of a muchness domestically and a bit of a fall off internationally? Internationally, we've still got one cap for this poor sod. They're all literally... Actually, let's go to 2054 when they will all left, because we can check in on the final trophy. Because the Conference League and everything, the Conference League and that will be... yeah, won't it? These guys are all retiring, understandably so. Understandably so. Okay. No real positional changes from what we've seen before. We've got some locked in as a defensive midfielder. Someone's tried to play this guy as a left winger. Very cheeky. They're all at Al Nassr. £250 million. No money there. So, what, 6 months ago they spent 500 million? I don't think so. So, the league, still in 8th. Viking have won 4. Stjarnan have won 1. Internationally, we are still ranked first. A couple of them are still playing, but we're still ranked first. I find that astounding. We lost in the final of the Euros in 2048, 3-0 against France, but we're getting there by, well, a draw against Belgium and France 2 apiece in the groups, beating Slovenia 3-0. And we beat Poland 2-0, Serbia 2-1 and Portugal 1-0. Gets the final, only to be dispatched by France in 2050, the World Cup. Once again, we got to the final and we lost. An 11-0 win against Syria, a 3-0 win against Canada, a 4-3 loss to Italy to round out the group stage. Then we beat Mali 7-1, USA 3-0, Portugal 3-2, Chile 3-0, and then in the final, we lost 4-3 to Austria. This guy scored a hat-trick in the final. Austria got an Icelandic manager. The 2052 Euros. Oh, I've gone back. I clicked the wrong thing. I thought we got to the final again. Lost 4-3. No, we lost to England 2-1 in the second round. Nothing more to say. And then we're in 2054. We're going to be in the World Cup. Players are retiring. Probably going to be out of there. Not playing for them. So we'll be Cristiano Ronaldo. Is this the Cristiano Ronaldo from Team U? Bloody hell. Cristiano Ronaldo. That's one of the best regen names I've ever seen. He's crap as well. Okay, so the Conference League then. Past winners, nothing. Oh, Breidablik, runner-up in the Europa League in 2049-50. Pretty dismal. Pretty dismal, to be honest. So, yeah, I think best we've had is a Europa League runner-up. But internationally, we've absolutely bossed it. 2 World Cups and 2 Euros, I think. Yeah, 2 World Cups and 2 Euros. And we've come runner-up in a couple of them as well. We've done really well. But that's it. That's the end of the main portion of the experiment. We have gone on a few more years just to see how they got on. So let's just quickly go and check that out. Yeah, I'm in 2108. 8 hours 1 minute. It was just a very quick sim. I must have gone out and left it and come back and gone, oh, that's a bit long. That's unnecessary. To go nearly 60 years, like 55 years, should I say, post when the players left. But do you know what? Sod it. We've done it. Let's go. Let's look then. Iceland. Iceland are 38th in the world. They've won another 2 World Cups in 2058 and 2066. So they were ranked up there and they didn't ever have any right to be after the players had left. But they've won another World Cup in 58 and what does it say, 66? You've got this calendar year here where we've won 3 games at the end of the year, but we've lost 4 friendlies on the spin, 3 draws in the Euros, lost in the second round against Spain, 2 defeats in the European League, and then finally some wins to close out the year, 64. 65, we qualified for the World Cup with aplomb. And then we went and won the World Cup, winning every single game, beating England 1-0 in the final. Absolute madness. The 2 more World Cups. Now, I don't think there's anything that's going to have happened in terms of Conference Leagues or Europe that we can sort of lay our hat on and say we had a hand in it, because the players have all left. The money wouldn't have come in. Maybe they helped increase the reputation enough. I don't know. No one's won a Conference League. No one's even come runner-up. And Europa League is much of the same. Breidablik runner-up. We saw that. That's all that's happened. And Champions League. Literally no final appearance or winner. That's that. Did we get any Ballon d'Ors? That is the question. Junior Krupi for Real Madrid won a hell of a lot of Ballon d'Ors. He must have been right at the top end of his variable potential ability. But no Ballon d'Ors for anyone. It is what it is. This was a fun one. I do enjoy doing these, trying to build a nation with multiple players. I did allude to one. Did allude to it earlier where I might do different positions for a lesser nation, maybe like San Marino or something. Let me know any ideas in the comments down below. Central midfielders will be coming, and that will be Austria. That's a given. That's locked in because I want to see if Ralph, big man Ralph, can win some things internationally. Typically, I bet you they just don't hire him as manager. He's basically the manager of Austria nearly every save game now, to the point where we just can't bother doing Ralph Watch because it's boring. And the one time I want him to be the Austrian manager, I bet he won't be. So there we go. That's the end of today's experiment. Let's just go back and let's have a look at the World Cup and the Euros and say six international trophies. Unbelievable. But that's it. That's the end of today's experiment. Hope you enjoyed. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.